Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome to my channel. I am joined by Amy Duggar, who is
Hi.
here. Hi, Amy. Amy
Hey,
Duggar King. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Amy King.
I know. I was about to get you. Like, hey, when you get in here, I know. It's nice to be on here. Good at talking to you.
Welcome. I'm so glad to have you on here.
Yeah.
So, you and I have been talking on Instagram for a long time. This is actually the first time we've spoken.
You know what? I feel like you're kind of like a faraway girlfriend I haven't met yet. Like I like I feel like you and I get along so well.
I know. I'm always like sending you messages like, "Oh my God, girl, did you see this?"
And I'm like, I sure did.
So how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I am at home, just like probably a lot of other people. Um,
Hunker down.
but good mom life and just hanging in there. Yeah.
How is the baby boy?
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. Like I never thought I'd be like you just never know how you could ever love someone so much
Oh yeah.
until you have a baby, and then it changes your entire world. Like your entire life has changed. Yeah. My mom's got him actually in his nursery right now, reading books to him because he's really loud. He's learned how to scream now to get attention. So that's fun, especially in the middle of the night. So yeah, he's in there, but I'll bring him out in a little bit and say hi for sure.
Awesome. So, what is your like? How old is he now? I'm sorry. I'm like, how old is he?
No. So he's like 5.5 months. He'll be 6 months on let's see. Is it I know it sounds really bad, but it's April. April's coming up. So April 9th. I had to think about it for a minute because I feel like I've been quarantined for a while. Yeah, April 9th will be his 6-month birthday. Yeah.
I feel like you just had him.
Well, yeah. But okay, for me, I don't feel like it's gone by so fast. Like people are like, oh, it goes by so fast. And for me, I'm like, I feel like it's been like 5.5 months. Like I feel like we're at a good pace right now. I don't feel like I'm losing anything or like forgetting anything. And I'm writing down, I have like a baby book with him or for him. And so every day he gets a picture and every day he gets like something that we talk all about like what he does and all that. So when I look back when he's, 22, I'll have all that. So
Yeah, for me, like I didn't believe that either when people would be like, "Oh, it goes so fast." Like, and then people would always be like, when I was like in the thick of it, they'd be like, "This too shall pass," and I'd be like, "Shh."
Right? Yeah.
Don't
I haven't
tell me that
yet.
It's like, what are some of the milestones that he's hit so far?
Well, he's trying to sit up by himself. He still kind of falls over, but he's trying. He's getting there. He just learned how to jump in his jumper. And we got him a super cute, like souped up truck walker, so he can like get in it, and it's like perfect with daddy because dad is all about souped up vehicles anyway. And so yeah, he's learning how to do that too. So it's just really cute. And then he's eating food. So he has like all the purees, and I'm making homemade baby food. So that's fun.
Ooh, fun.
Yes. Keeps me going.
Awesome. You are like a busy mom. Like you're raising Dax, and then you also have your business. So obviously there's stuff going on in the world that's making businesses a little bit wild right now. But you actually opened a clothing store, 3130, right?
I did, yeah, 3130. Now I know like you're not religious or anything like that, but yeah, it's called 3130 and it's based from a verse that I love on the Bible. It just says like basically she laughs without fear of the future, and she's clothed with strength and dignity. So even if you're not a follower of of God or whatever like that, you're not faith-based, that verse is still, hey, you're still clothed with strength and dignity, and that goes for every woman. And so that's kind of where I like make a stand, is that every size is beautiful, and we carry we carry every size from small, extra small to 3XL, 4XL, and we just added 5XL. Sorry, I had to think about it for a second. 5XL. So every woman's got their own shape and their own style, and it's really cool how God's kind of blessing it. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm all about, that's one thing I'm humongous about, is just body positivity and women embracing who they are and what they are and whatever shape, size that it is, because it changes.
Yes. I had like a breakdown in my closet the other day because I was trying to wear a pair of jeans like before like mamahood, and I just like broke down and was like, no, F this. Like I was so mad because I couldn't wear it, couldn't zip it, couldn't do anything. And I was like, what is my life? Like I just had one of those moments. I totally get it. I totally get it. Yeah. Everything's got elastic right now.
Once you go through the whole process, it takes a while. And
yeah,
I feel like the first few years I was just like resigned to the fact. And then it was like, I finally got back into it and I was like, all right, I'm back. Yay.
Oh, yeah. I definitely do not feel 100% of myself yet. That's for sure. And I actually experienced vertigo after my surgery. Really, really bad vertigo. And so just now recently starting to walk more and more without getting dizzy has been amazing.
Yeah, it's like a completely different process when you go. I mean, it doesn't matter. Birth is birth, whether or not it's out one way or another. The goal is a baby, right?
Right. Yeah, no, exactly.
Oh, look, it's a baby.
Oh my goodness. Can we say hi to Katie Joy? Hey.
Yeah. That's so cute.
Okay,
so we've got Mama Amy, we've got Working Mama, we've got Mama, then you got your husband who recently launched his business.
Yeah, worst time ever to open up a
no kidding. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. We're just like I said, trying to make it all stay afloat right now. And I'll be honest with you, it's difficult. It really is, because there's so many struggling businesses right now, you know, and so, but we're doing everything we can, and that's all it takes. You just got to give 100% effort all the time.
And just it's like not permanent. Nothing's permanent. Like
someone is very sleepy.
This is all temporary. I keep telling myself this is all temporary.
Yes. Yeah. No, it is. I definitely believe that we'll be back on our feet. You know, everybody will be back on their feet. Hopefully very soon. Hopefully. I think they're trying to do as much as they can, you know. Yeah. I mean, it's best to stay home if you can. I'll just say that. Correct. Wash your hands and stay home.
Wash your hands and stay home. Exactly. Okay. Yes. So we are on my channel, obviously. We love to snark on Counting On, mostly just because it's ridiculous. And you were on the series for a while, not really, kind of, right? You were like a recurring guest, right?
I was the crazy cousin Amy, and I was on all of season 1 and season 2. I think I was on a lot of episodes.
Years ago, okay.
Yeah. So I don't even know. No, yeah.
I mean, when you showed up, you were just like the weird cousin, even though in the real world you would just be normal.
Yes, I was the rebellious, wild child that wore pants. Yes, that wore pants, and that was my role without really even realizing that that's what they were, you know, portraying me as.
It was scripted that way.
I think it just kind of happened that way, where at that time no other girl was wearing pants, no other girl was listening to music, no other girl was living
right, living. So, let's just be frank, living.
Right, yeah. And so I think it was just a very interesting time in TV, where it just made such a huge dynamic having me on there. I didn't even ask to be on there. Do you know how I was on there?
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I got a story for you. So my grandma and I were like best friends, and I'm not gonna cry, but
yes,
we were best friends. I saw her every single day. Anyway, she lived with my uncle and my aunt, and I went over there to go pick her up, take her to a doctor's appointment, and they were filming, and I was tiptoeing around it because her room was next to the laundry room, so you had to like go through filming. So I was tiptoeing around around the cameras, and like I'm in heels, and I was like, crap, you know, trying to tiptoe. And Uncle Jim Bob said, okay, put your name in the hat. Who would want to be a chaperone for Josh and Anna? And I laughed out loud. And I didn't mean to, but I was like, oh my God. So like, oh, I can't believe I just heard that. Like, you know, not trying to make fun of them, but it's just something odd for me. Like I'm not usually around that. Right.
Yeah.
And, anyway. And so the producer saw that I laughed, and he came up to me and I said, I'm so sorry. I was like, I was not trying to laugh. I'm so sorry. And he goes, who are you? And I was like, oh, I'm just the cousin. I'm picking up grandma. Like, that's all. And he goes, well, why don't you put your name in the hat to be a chaperone? And I said, you probably don't want my hat in or my name in there, because I'll probably let them do whatever they want. And he was like, oh my gosh. And he literally said, TV gold. And I was like, what? And they threw me on camera right at that moment and was like, talk. Like, say something. And I was like what? So I was just myself. And it became this like thing where I wanted to be famous and I wanted to, you know, do all these things. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it just got way out of hand real fast.
Yeah, I can't. So they basically picked you.
Yeah, so I was just there trying to pick up my grandma, and next thing I know, I'm in the episode where they're trying to get a chaperone for Josh and Anna. Yeah, and I can say that because that's not, you know, that's not anything negative or anything like that. It's just true. Like, that's really what happened. And so it's like, oh my goodness.
Were you picked for the chaperone?
No. No, I think they knew better.
You'd have been like, Anna, go get some pants.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, go see a movie. That's fine. Like, yeah, there's just a lot of things about courtship that I truly do not understand. And we're not even talking about my family in general, just courtship. The rules of courtship are very hard for me to understand. And I can even tell you why. Anyway, yeah, so courtship in general, without ever including my family at all, is just very odd to me.
Yeah, so I was on the Institute of Basic Life Principles, and I did like this video, like dating with the Duggars, because back when I was involved with this like crazy culty thing, this family that I got to know, they were like, we are gonna court. And I was like, court? Are you kidding? Like the Duggars? Like you're gonna court? You know? And I started reading up on courting, and I was like, weird, right? Like your intention is to get married, and like you can't hold hands. And I was on the IBLP's website, like no holding hands, like make sure you have chaperones to guard you from impure thoughts, like not wearing certain outfits to cause any sort of defrauding. Like, Amy, you are a walking defrauder.
I know.
You are always defrauding.
I am always defrauding.
Look, I'm a defrauder right now.
I mean, yeah, I can't help it. Like, they say like big jewelry is like a big it's a big problem. It's a problem.
Yeah, it's
women
like
have like big jewelry.
Yeah.
And I wear the biggest earrings that come down to like my shoulder.
I know. Obviously, like you wouldn't have been the best chaperone. Like you would have been like, yeah, you can do way more than side hug.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And so I think, but it became like a funny thing because there was like such a fun like dynamic that happened on the show. And like, I love my cousins, don't get me wrong, but it was just a whole different like type of personality that kind of arrived out of nowhere. And I get that I'm a lot for some people.
Yeah.
And so I just have a whole different type of like I said, personality. And so I get it from my grandpa because my grandpa was a lot like me. Like I act a lot like him. And
you're just normal though. Like that's the thing. Like
Yeah, I'm bubbly, but like I'm not afraid to speak my mind.
That's
I'm not
good.
afraid to. Yeah, I mean, I feel like every woman needs a voice. And I feel like when that voice is taken, then that's a problem for sure.
Yes. So obviously you have fashion that you sell that's awfully, you know, it's not, it's not.
Say it.
It's not
Modest. It's not modest.
You have non-modest clothes. You've got some non-modest clothes, Amy.
Oh. So I have a rule. If I show some cleavage, then I don't show like a lot of skin, like legs. But if I show a lot of leg, then I kind of cover up top. So I don't show like both at the same time most of the time. Sometimes I do. I mean, hey, everybody needs a night out dress, okay?
Yes.
Looking hot. Everyone needs to look hot. But for my like everyday wear, I normally am either showing legs or boobs, but never both at the same time.
I love that.
And that is how I've always done that. Haven't I, Mom? She's like, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. But it's true. Like, it's just a part of it.
Your wedding dress.
My wedding dress. Oh my gosh, was so. Did you see it?
I can't remember actually.
You know what? That's something that you should do. You should do a family Duggar dress, or a dress compilation of all the different dresses.
Oh,
and
I did one of
mine.
I did one of all of the brides and all of the bridesmaids, and I had people vote on like who had the best dress for the girls.
Yeah.
I think Ginger's dress was like, because she had that
classic.
So she had that beautiful train.
She did.
And it was like it was like very nicely fit. It was between hers and I think Jessa's.
Yeah, Jessa's that rose pink color one was really pretty. They have beautiful dresses, don't get me wrong. There's my cat.
I think the least favorite bridesmaid's outfit was Jessa's.
Okay. Well, mine was modern and all white satin, and my boobs were out for a party. They were having fun. My tatas were having a good time.
Did you guys have libations at this, adult beverages?
Oh, we had a whole full open bar, and we actually, like, everything was good. Dinner was wonderful, and it was all catered and beautiful. And I told my uncle and my aunt, I said, now I'm so thankful y'all came, but if you I want you to feel comfortable here, but it's about not to be for you.
Yeah.
And I was just respectful, and I said, listen, the music is about to change, the lights are going to dim, and we're going to celebrate. And they quickly, they respected of what I wanted to do, and they quickly were like, okay, have a good. No, I think it's funny. I think it's like real life.
I just saw your dress.
Like real life.
Actually gorgeous, like not super out there by any means. Did you see the latest, like, say yes to the dress?
No.
Jessa was on with Jessica, Ben's sister, her husband's sister. And her dress had sort of a plunging neckline.
Nice.
And it had like the sheer spot over here, but it was, probably not in Jessica's. Yeah. And Jessa's face at first was like,
Jessa she's so gorgeous, and I love the fact that they all, have their morals, and they have their guidelines, and they have, the way they want to live, and that's fine. But like, we all have that for each other. We all have different guidelines and morals and that kind of thing. And so, hey, and hey, it takes a lot to make the world go round, and every person is different, and you just got to realize that, you know?
Oh yeah. She was very respectful. So, like, at the end, she was like, you know, it wouldn't have been what I would have picked, but it's her wedding and I'll support her and she looks beautiful. And
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Oh, plus Ben's sister is like, she's a cop.
Yeah, she's a badass.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I could never be a cop. I could never be a cop. No. I think it's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So your wedding dress was amazing. I just looked at it. I can also
thank you.
I'll put a picture up later. But
thank you.
So now you guys have been married how long?
Almost 5 years in September.
Okay. You guys were on marriage boot camp too, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a rude awakening. Yes. I loved it. I loved it. We actually are still in touch with like Dr. Ish and the people from our season. So yeah, JT and Ashley and all of them are super sweet people. Yeah.
Do you feel like you guys, it helped you?
Oh my, honestly, so we were friends for a really long time before we got married. And we had a lack of respect for each other. We really did, because we joked around, and we would joke around about things that you can't joke around about once you're married. And it would hurt my feelings, and he wouldn't understand why. And it was just back and forth. And it was like, is this what marriage is? Because it's exhausting. Forget it. Like, I'm not signing up for this. Like, even though I said I choose you every day, there were days where I would look at him and I'm like, I do not choose you today. Right. Like, you just, it was hard at first. And so, we went on marriage boot camp 6 months in to our marriage. And honestly, it changed it. It changed the way we talked to each other. And it changed like just the whole relationship was it's just so much easier now.
That's good.
Yeah. We had so for example, my husband like works long hours, and sometimes he wouldn't come home, but he's a really bad communicator, and he knows that. I can say that out loud. And I can be like, hey, when you coming home? And he's like, oh, in a little bit. Well, what is a little bit? And he's like, I don't know, in about an hour or so, babe. Well, like 4 freaking hours will go by, and I'm like, where the heck is my husband? Like, you know, like you start thinking like, is he in a car wreck? Is he like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? And so he really, like, a little bit for him means, oh, whenever I get home. Right. And a little bit for me means like 30 minutes to an hour, and I'm counting the minutes, you know, kind of thing. Yeah. And so just communication. So anyway, we had a drill.
Obviously having different expectations.
Exactly. Yeah. And so we had a drill where we had to like break a plate and
video. Oh, there you go.
I know. Yep. Sorry. A call went by. We had to break a plate and we had to put it back together. And one of the things that we needed to work on was time. And so on the plate, it says time. And so whenever that boy does not communicate, I get that daggone plate out and I'm like, let's talk about this. Wow. So I still have it. Yeah. Yeah.
It was
like, hardcore.
It was basically seeing a completely different side of you. I mean, it was like, and I remember, I haven't finished the whole season, but I remember you walked in and people were like, oh my God, a Duggar is here.
Yeah, people were very surprised, but I didn't do it for like the shock value. It was more for the fact that like this marriage, I want it to be the best that it can be and not live up to necessarily my family's expectations of what a marriage looks like, you know? Because for me, I talk and I will talk back and I have an attitude, and at times if I need to have one, I can have one, you know? And so, Dylan knows that. I'm a spitfire.
Well, and let's be honest, in no other world is it inappropriate for a woman to have an opinion.
That's very true. Very true.
And so I think the biggest misconception with you is that you're like this rebel, that you're like off the wall, and it's really like you're normal.
Yeah. I mean, I wear jeans. I definitely have my faith. I feel like I'm a pretty good person, you know. I feel like when that show was going on, I was younger, you know. I was in my teens. I was younger. And actually I don't even actually know. I might be in the 20s, 22, 23. I don't even know how old I was, to be honest, because that's how long ago it was. But for me, it was just like I felt very, what's the word? Not judged.
Oh, come on, you were judged.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I just wasn't fitting into any of the molds, you know. I wasn't, it wasn't just because of my family. It was because of just everybody that watched the show were like, oh, she's crazy. And they called me crazy cousin Amy. And so people assumed, well, what's crazy in the real world? Well, it's not wearing pants.
Right.
You know?
Right. Like you're a woman that has a job and a career and a mom, and like these are all normal things. You went to a secular high school, you wore jeans, you wore shorts, wore
bikinis. I had boyfriends. Yeah. Like every normal teenager out there. Yeah. And for me it was just like, okay, like I had to really think about it, like, okay, what, like, I'm not going to change who I am, but at the same time, like, I don't want to be hated for who I am, you know? And so, yeah, it definitely made me feel inadequate. It made me feel like I wasn't enough, and who I was didn't matter. And it was just like put on this earth like, oh, she's bad. She's a bad girl.
And I was actually, how does that affect your self-esteem when you have like the rest of the people like classifying you and judging you against this very unattainable, unrealistic, and really unhealthy mold that women are, you know, vehicles for children, that they are not educated, that they are not to work outside of the home, that, you know, they're essentially the property of the family and of the husband. I mean, how does that has to be like a mind F, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, for me, I just feel like so for a moment there, I was like, fine, if you want me to be a bad girl and being compared to Miley Cyrus, who she's off the rocker, like way off the rocker. I was like, fine, I'm just gonna do whatever, like, fine. And so like, I didn't necessarily like, you know, I didn't go too crazy, but I went to a couple more parties, you know, I kissed couple more guys. I, you know, stayed out a little too late, you know, that kind of thing. And I was just like, screw it. Like, I am who I am. And I look back at that time and I realized that honestly, like, I don't need to change one thing about myself, you know, like I'm strong, and I feel like that scrutiny kind of helped me, like, I don't know, kind of help me mold, I guess, who I am today. And that's why I can see so many different people. You don't shame someone for who they are, what they believe, or what they don't believe in. Right. You know, you don't hear me on here. You're not faith-based. You don't know, you know, maybe not what you don't know what you believe yet or anything like that. But you don't hear me saying like, oh, Katie Joy, well, let me just tell you on how I feel about that, blah, 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 blah. No, because we all have our own free will.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes. And that's like always the one thing that people have with my channel is like, oh, you're an atheist, so that means you hate Christians. And I'm like, actually completely opposite. Like, yeah, there's definitely a world of atheists that want to pick apart everything that Christians do, but that is not who I am. I definitely am critical of some of the practices of the IBLP, but come on, it's a cult. And it's not a healthy, it's just not a healthy place for men, women, or children. I mean, because no man should be in the position that the men are in these places. It gives them far too much power. It puts women in a really subservient role. And so these are the things that, like, I am a feminist. I'm a humanist. I believe that everyone should have choices, a voice, and all of that. And so, you know, to me, it's like, if you want to believe, as long as you believe and it doesn't hurt me and you're not like hurting your children, go for it.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally get that. What was I going to say? I was thinking about something when you were talking. Did you know that I went to an IBLP convention when I was younger?
Okay, you were telling me about this very briefly, but you didn't go into detail. You have to tell me.
Yeah. So I went with my cousins. I don't know where I was going. I was really, really young, but I remember walking in and feeling like, not talking about my family, but like in general, like all the kids there, I was like, these kids are freaking robots.
Yeah.
Like they had like no personality. None. And you have to like memorize all of this scripture. Now there's nothing wrong with like learning, like, you know, having it for your heart and like for who you are in your daily lifestyle. But for them, it was like a rule that they had to like learn all of this scripture. And it was weird. It was weird. It was not, very, very cultish, very cultish. And, yeah, I remember being like,
are basically trained to be robots from a child. I mean, it's indoctrination at its finest. It starts with practices like blanket training, which is really, I saw you on Instagram when you were like, you said, oh, hell no.
Yeah. Oh, hell no is right. Like, I am sorry, but my child, Daxon, is going to grow up in the most loving, most open home. And you are not going to be confined by a blanket. There's a couple of things that make me more mad, but that.
Yeah. And it's like not even the blanket part. It's like coercing them off to do things that aren't, you know, or like I was reading the book, Training Up the Child, and it's like, put a bowl of something on the table to tempt your child, and then as your child walks up, use the rod. And it's like, this is sick.
No, here's the thing. I think that teaches them fear. It teaches them that, what if I do something, am I going to get spanked? Am I going to get hit? Am I going to get that? And, yeah, that's not going to happen in this household. My husband and I are very loving. And I honestly think if you talk to kids and you're like, hey, you know, if you touch the oven, it's going to burn you. It's going to get hot. You're not going to like it. Yeah. I think they're going to listen. I don't think you need a big rod or a big stick or whatever they use to get their attention. I am 100% against that.
Yeah. You should be.
I am.
I am. You know, and it's interesting because, you know, a lot of your cousins have grown up, you know, none of them have really spoken out against it. And Austin and Joy, they work at this place that is like a camp. And they host the people that teach that training. And so there's that. But I did notice on Instagram that Jill, your cousin Jill, has kind of softened a little bit. And I noticed not too long ago, she shared this post actually talking about how things that you shouldn't do to a child versus like, how do you get a child to grow to become a beautiful flower if they're in concrete? And it was like this moment where I was like, oh, Jill.
I can't really comment on a lot about the family, but I will tell you that Jill is a beautiful person. Yeah. She truly is. And we've had some heart-to-heart talks, and I love seeing her blossom, as you say. She is just a very, very beautiful person. I've always called her my hippie chick, even when I was like 7 years old. Oh, yeah. She's my little hippie chick because she always had the Aztec and chevron, or she always wore different patterns. And it's just really cool to see her become her own person. Yeah. You know, and yeah. I totally, totally support her in everything she does.
And she's done some stuff for your 3130, which is awesome.
She has, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. If I can help her in any way, and, you know, we are family, and I love her, and she's beautiful. I'm talking about, she's so pretty. And yeah,
okay. How tall is she?
Very tall. She's like 5'7".
Okay.
5'8". Yeah.
Cause you're a peanut like me, I think.
I'm a peanut. I'm 5'2".
Yeah, I'm 5'3". We're peanuts.
Oh yeah. Yeah, girl.
I mean, when she's in your clothing, I'm like, look at those legs.
I know. She's a little supermodel. She's gorgeous.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't do blanket training, which is a good thing.
No.
That's awesome. So
yes.
growing up, what was life like when you weren't there though? Like life was very different, right? Like you went to regular high school, you
did. Yeah. We had like pool parties and went to the lake and on a boat, and I had tons of friends. Very social. I'm a social butterfly. There's always somewhere or something that I'm doing. So yeah, that was never an issue. I never felt like isolated or even being an only child, I was never lonely. I was never a lonely child. I was an only child, but not a lonely child. And, yeah, always busy, always doing something. I mean, just a lot of fun.
That's
growing up. Yeah. But I knew going over there when I was younger, they don't listen to it was, when Britney Spears was huge, Britney's first album came out, I knew not to mention, hey, Britney Spears. Like I knew even back then not to mention certain things. So we kept it very PG, and we just talked about, I don't know, when I was younger, we played store, we played hide and go seek, like normal kid stuff. We were outside a lot.
Oh, you know what? So back to that training. How long did you go to that training for?
Like how many days? It was like 2 or 3 days. Yeah, that's it. I couldn't make it the whole week. No. No. Yeah. And my mom was like, oh, go. Like she did. I mean, my mom was awesome. Like she let me kind of be who I wanted to be. Mom, come in here. My mom can answer these questions. She just kind of let me be whoever I wanted to be. And I like thank her for that. Here, come sit down.
Okay.
She's going to join us. Is that okay?
Yeah. Hi.
Okay. Hello. Hi, Katie Joy. Yeah. So I honestly owe I guess my kind of free spirit lifestyle to my mom, who just kind of was like, okay, Amy, like you can have a boyfriend, you can go to prom, you can, do all those things.
I wasn't allowed to do that. I wasn't allowed to go to prom. I was allowed to wear bikinis, which was kind of odd. And I was able to wear halters and shorts, but I was not allowed to go to the prom or any dances at all. It's very strange.
So you were Baptist Baptist no dancing.
I was missionary Baptist, brought up missionary Baptist, and then we went to Southern Baptist.
Woo!
And I got to wear pants to church. I couldn't believe my mom let me wear pants to church.
But you guys growing up were not as conservative, right? Like as your brother.
Not as conservative, no.
Yeah. Okay. Because your mother.
God.
Yeah, my mom was pretty conservative though. She really
was. Okay.
She was, except when she was around me, she wasn't. I could get her to do things that no one else could.
She really could. Amy could get mom to do about anything, and I'd be like, "Are you kidding me?"
I really could. I really could.
Grandma Duggar. Oh, she was so cute. Oh, your camera went away. Oh, there you are.
I know. There it is. Sorry. We've got 20%, so there might be a couple more questions. We'll have to do this again, though.
Yeah. So, okay. What is the biggest misconception about
me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that I'm this like wild child that like had no boundaries, who will do anything, who thinks that she's amazing. And honestly, so I've seen a lot of like funny websites that like people like hate me, and they call me Famey.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's hilarious. Like first off, that's an amazing like play on words.
Yeah.
But second, like I never wanted to be famous at all, and I don't consider myself famous at all. So it's just really funny how much people can hate someone who they don't even know.
Oh, girl, I know, it's insane.
Like they just shame for like no reason, and I'm like,
they put this idea of who they think you are.
Yeah.
And everything that they think you are, and every negative quality that you are, that's who that's who you are to them.
Right. Let me just tell you about Amy. One time she was at Walmart. She didn't know I was watching, but there was an old lady there and needed help with her cart. And she took that card and she put it up for her.
Oh.
But that's the kind of person my daughter is.
Oh.
And I want people to know she's loving, she's caring, She wants to encourage others.
She does, for
their
sure.
best life.
Well,
yeah, I'm in this like fundy group, and they're always like taking photos of your 3130 stuff and like laughing.
oh yeah.
And I'm like, what? Like, she's literally doing her job.
Yeah.
And she's not a fundy, so why is she in here?
I don't know. No, it's funny. I know people see messages and they're like, I cannot believe you famey, like whatever. And I'm like, listen, like if I don't even respond anymore because I'm like, there's no point. You're going to hate me and that's fine. But I mean, I'm not everybody's, cup of whiskey. I'll tell you that.
Isn't it funny though that the fan base is so crazy conservative, like, and they're so like, they're supposed to be so loving, and they're so
judgmental.
Yes.
They're so judgmental. And
yes.
It's like, what, like, yeah, like
I get some hate messages from like,
yeah.
Let me tell you something. Christ and Jesus is for real in my heart. I know he's for real. And I will say this, that he is true love. He's not fake.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
And so, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there needs to be more.
Judge not lest you be judged, right, Amy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have time to judge anyone.
And it's such a legalistic mindset,
It is, that's exactly right. It's very legalistic.
Legalistic. I mean, like when I was in church, I was a Catholic, and then I was in this other church that wasn't a Catholicism, but it's like, if you have to check so many boxes just to get to where you want to go, and you have to spend all of your time judging what everyone is doing, that's like pretty much the exact opposite of who Jesus was.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You don't have to step on anyone to get where you want to be.
No,
and I feel like
shouldn't be like judging Amy or other people, because their dresses are too short, or they're showing their shoulder, or
yeah. My elbows, or what is it? Well, like, yeah, like your shoulders, like you said, shoulders are not allowed. Your knees.
I know I'm always like defrauding. I'm like, let's defraud.
I know. I almost wore an off the shoulder shirt, and I was like, and I was like, eh. But no, it's very interesting to grow up that way. But it is what it is, and honestly, I'm just me, and it's just really, it's funny how I haven't been on the show in a long time.
Yeah.
And my followers, I still have followers, and I'm like, okay, and they probably all hate me. Let's be really honest. They all hate me. But I know there's some that are like, I see you for like who you are. And like, I don't try to be anybody else. I don't want to be anybody else.
No.
And so
I'll say on my channel, they really like you. They do, because
that's awesome.
You've shown amazing support and like grace to your cousin Jill, who you can't say anything about, but we know is being basically ostracized by her family because she's not on the show. She's doing her own thing. And you have been supportive of her. You've been supportive of Derek. And there's been so much information that's come out from Derek. And so, you were like showing your support on Twitter, and people were just like really grateful that like she has people that can do that, because she needs people in her family that she knows.
Definitely has people she can turn to.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I'll just leave it at that. There's definitely loving arms right here.
Yes.
And she's welcome here anytime.
So love her. Yeah. So that goes to the last question, is knowing that, this was one of the things I talked to you about yesterday, is that when you have people that you're around that are different than you, and they have different beliefs, you can still love them, and you don't have to necessarily believe everything that they believe. I was telling you about how, I'll talk about Derek and it immediately goes to the comments about Jazz, right? And he's a terrible human being for that, right? But not every one person is the context of one specific thing, right?
Right.
So how do you love and support people that are clearly so different? Like what has been sort of your model? Like how have you been able to be so compassionate?
I think it's a golden rule that's basically treat others how you want to be treated. And it literally is that simple for me. It's like, okay, I am faith-based. I am a Christian. And so it's like, if God's in my heart and I want it to be shown no matter what, I have people that don't believe in God. I have people who are transgender that I know. I have people that are gay, even in my family. I have an ant crawling on me. That's real life right now, in Arkansas. Sorry. But like I have that in my family, and without disclosing who that is, those people feel loved, regardless of your hair color, your makeup that you got on, no matter what you look like on the outside, inside you have a heart, and your heart matters, and you need to feel loved and chosen and worthy. And for me, even on my Instagram, I put, I hope you know that you are, worthy and you're chosen and you're loved, because that is what makes a good person, regardless of religion.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's what makes you a good adult.
I know.
That's gonna be
kind. People are always like, Katie, you're like nicer than a lot of the Christians I know, and I'm like, it's called being a human.
Isn't that sad? That like that's how it is. Like that's just so sad to me, because like God is love, and I love your pillow that says love is love, because it is. And the back. And so, I think for me, it's just treating people and seeing, you might be hurting. There might be a lot going on in your life, but you have a heart, and I'm not going to respond to some hateful comments because of what you're saying to me. I'm going to respond because deep down, there's love in there somewhere, and I try to see the good in people.
So when you get those hateful comments on your social media, which a couple weeks ago, your page was exploding because you shared a photo of Dax and your husband, and it was so sweet. But obviously, the co-sleeping, like
the mom shamers,
yes, showed up.
Of course,
obviously, it wasn't like they were sleeping there for a very long time. And you made a statement, and you said, like, I'm really sorry if you felt this way. Like, I don't want you to come to this page and feel that way. Like, when you get sort of those comments, hateful comments in your inbox, like how do you respond to those? Do you just ignore them?
No, I respond back, and I'll say like, hey, look, like your opinion is valid. Basically, like I'm not going to be like, oh no, you're wrong because this is how I feel. Like that's narcissistic, you know, like you need to, I guess, I know I'm talking real quick. You definitely need to like just notice that like people have feelings, and they're allowed to have them. They're allowed to have their own opinions. And so for me, you might not like me. That's okay. That's all right.
I know. I always say that. They're like, Katie, people hate you. And I'm like, so?
Yeah. Okay.
People on the internet.
No, I feel like there's like this really crazy bullying thing that when you get behind a keyboard, you can say whatever you want. And I think people are misconceived the fact that like if you're on TV or if you have been or whatever, if you're in any kind of public light at all, they think that you don't have feelings.
You are no longer human to them.
Right. Yeah. They dehumanize you. Exactly right. And that's what happens. And so it's like, wait a second, like I hurt just like you do. I cry just like you do. Right. I have bad days just like you do. And I try to put that out there on Instagram. Like my page is my real life. I don't color code anything, and I don't have rose colored glasses on. Like I'm not like, oh, my life is perfect.
Oh God, the Instagram perfect pages that are all edited.
I can't handle it
either.
It's like not life. And it's like, please, you've got like 6 nannies. Like, shut up.
I know.
Like your house is never that perfect. No house is ever that perfect.
No.
Yeah. So I get it. I get why people like hate, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of love out there, and that's what I just kind of on.
You have to get much love you're probably getting, there's probably way more. You have a decent, you have hundreds of thousands of people that are on your Instagram that are following you. So it's not like, not all of these people are hate following you. That would be ridiculous.
I don't know. Either way, I'm just going to keep doing me, and that's all right.
Well, I am so glad that you came on. I would love to have you back.
Yes, I would love it.
I'm so glad your mom joined me. I'm like,
yes, it was nice to meet you, Katie.
I know.
Have a blessed day.
You too.
Yeah, girl, keep it up. I feel like you in your channel. Like I've even tuned in and I'm like, oh, what did she have to say this time?
Yeah.
Because you're just so fun to watch. And very
You remind me a lot of
interesting.
Amy, actually.
Yes. You know,
Well, if you come to Arkansas sometime, I will treat you with Southern hospitality.
To the Wellington.
And we'll go meet and hang out. Yeah, it was fun.
have some wine and eat some of that Wellington's food.
Yes,
like,
ma'am.
So
Yes,
good.
ma'am. Yes.
Yeah.
I know. I
Yes.
think that's one of the misconceptions on my channel is that all I do is hate on the Duggars, and that's really not it. I obviously like cover reality television, but it's more like a vehicle to talk about, to have conversations about, you know.
It is good to do that. It's good to just hear different people talk and tell them, you know, what's going on in their lives and all of that. And it's, you know, I don't know. I feel like that show helped mold me into who I am, like I've said. And I'm not, I don't know. I like who I am. And I think that at the end of the day, you have to love yourself.
Yes.
Now, if you don't love yourself, no one else will. No one else will do that job for you. And I'm just trying to be the best mama, the best business owner, the best wife, the best friend that I know how to be, and the best person. And I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel. And
That's all you can do.
go along with
Well, thank you so much for joining me, Amy. It was amazing talking to you, and I'm so glad we got to meet Dax. He is adorable.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much.
Yes, I know. We'll have to come back. And thank you so
Yeah.
much to your mother for joining as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will be back later. Bye, guys.
Bye.